Good evening, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope everyone is well. I hope your Thursday evening has gone the way that you wanted it to. It's 5:30 here on the West Coast, 8:30 on the East Coast. And let me tell you that this stream tonight, I just want to give some, just some real talk trigger warnings about this. Um, I have to, some trigger warnings and some quote unquote rules for the chats, right? So we are not going to, we're not going to use any type of, you're going to have to choose alternative words for certain things. Um, you cannot say, please don't type what it actually is. Just say, messing around with the butterfly brain or something like that. Do not type those two letters plus the word, what this is about. Um, yeah. And trigger warning because some of this was when I was looking through some of the document, I was just like, this is sick. It's sick. So we're gonna keep this as clean as we can, right? We're gonna keep this as clean as we can. And again, trigger warning. Okay. Also, this is a document that's over 500 pages long. So we are definitely not going to get through all of it tonight, but we're going to start to go through it. Okay. We're going to start to go through it. So, we'll kind of, skip around, jump around, look at some things. But again, we're not saying the two letters or, what it is. And again, all of this is for review. This is fair use. This is pretty much like documented research. Um, Alleged documented research. I found this actually came from Penn State University. This is from the Penn State University, and I can show you where I found this at. Okay, so because I had to follow the link, I had to follow the path to see where this actually came from. Okay. So again, make sure you understand trigger warning. Okay. If you have to clutch your pearls, clutch your pearls. If you need to take a moment to walk away from some of it, I understand because yeah. So let me shout out everyone who's here. Hey Jam, Growing Process, Valerie, Mons, Sanders, It's the Real, Tashi, Brenda Taylor, Airy Saving Lives. Hey, big sis Loretta, how you doing, girl? Britiani. Okay, it's been going good for you. Good. Miss Asha, Isis, Golden Age Enigma. Hello, my darling. How are you? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna put up a banner. Let me shout out everyone. Tanjon, Love Joy. Okay, yeah. So, like I said, make sure you all, like I said, if you have to, it was deep, y'all. It was deep. Um, it was deep. So, yeah. So, hey, El Boogie. So, first things first, let me show you all what the front page of this looks like. And then, and then I'm going to show you, like I said, where I got it from. So, let me share this screen and then we're going to start reviewing it. Okay. Again, it's over 500 pages. We're not going to get through everything tonight, but we're just going to review and, talk about it. Right. So, let me do that. Hey, Timley. Um, is this the one? Yeah. Okay. So remember, use whatever code words you have to. Okay. Let me go back here. Share it with you all. Okay, so this is the front page of this. Okay, this is the front page. This is what this looks like. Okay. The formula, okay, we're not gonna say the I word. The formula used to create an undetectable total, you know, mentally mentally disrupted person. Okay? Hey, Sunray. So this is what this looks like. Okay? This is what this looks like. And let me try and see if I can make this bigger for you all so you all can see. Okay, it's just making this bigger. But okay, do you all see the right here? HTTP blase 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 blase. Okay, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy it because I want you all to see um where this comes from. Okay, so I'm copying, putting this in here. Okay, so this is the Google result. Okay, this is the Google result. And if you can see this, this is siteseerx.ist.psu.edu. Okay, so I open that up. ist.psu.edu comes here. Okay, so this isn't me, this isn't Q making this up, this isn't anything, like that, um, it comes here. So let me make myself smaller. But yeah, so it comes here and you all can, but like I said, yeah. So let me bring up the other one. Let me bring it up. So let me bring this back up. Okay. And I'll put this in the chat if anyone wants to, just go and look at it yourself. You can see yourself. You can go type it into Google yourself. You'll see what comes up. The first one at the top. Okay. This isn't you making this up. Okay. So, and like I said, sightseer.x comes to here, and I'm going to show you. Sightseer.x comes to, it's from Penn State. Okay. Penn State. And I'm going to show you. Okay. Sightseer.x, you see this Penn State College of Information Sciences and Technology. Okay. So I just want you all to know this is where this comes from. This isn't something I made or anything like that. Okay. So now let's get into the actual document. Like I said, if you have to take a moment, then go ahead and take a moment. I get it. Okay. So we are here. This is what this is. The formula used to create an undetectable, total, mentally controlled person. All right. So let me move this tab down here so I can stay up to date with everything. Okay, I'm just moving the tab around. Okay, so let's go a little bit further in so everyone can see. Okay. All right. So I showed you where it came from. And this guy, Fritz Springmeier, okay, we're going to refer to him as FS. He is someone that writes a lot of different books um about these topics. So let me just show you what he writes about himself, because just so you all have like a framework of, who writes who writes this, okay? Share screen. Let me go to window. Where is it? Okay. Here, let me share this one. So you all can see, like I said, who is writing the thing. Okay. So we can see that's your homeboy there, FS. And this is his book, a book that he wrote in 2002. You can't even buy it anymore, at least not on Amazon. Okay. You can't buy it anymore on Amazon. To get a new or used, you're going to drop at least $100 on it. Okay. So again, just showing you all everything. Showing you all everything. Now, Let me bring back up our screen. Our Is it this one? Yep. Ooh. Ooh. Tanjon out here with the yeah. Mm-hmm. Tanjon out here, girl. So let me bring this back in. Okay, so now let's get back into it. Okay. So this is, let's go to the table of contents so we can look. These are the 12 major sciences of flying insect mental domination. Okay, so flying insect mental domination. That's what we're gonna call this. Okay. So as you can see, this is a table of contents. It's yeah, so they're looking into this. This is a very in-depth document. It's talking about genetics, availability, physical and mental requirements, list of organizations carrying out mental domination. Okay, spiritual requirements, moonchild ceremonies, the T word in vitro. Okay, stuff regarding premature birth, love bombing, love bonding. Okay, that's part one. Part two is, you see what part two is. Okay, see what part two is. Okay, all right. The use of pharmakia. All right, the use of pharmakia. Pharmakia is the Greek word for pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals just means potions. So as long as y'all know. Um, hypnosis. Okay, that's section 4, section 5, 6, 7. Okay. Okay, they're talking about behavior modification, psychological motivation, NLP. Okay, that's section 9, 10, spiritual control techniques. Okay, internal controls, external controls. Okay, so let me close this, close this, close this, close this. All right, so my laptop can breathe a little bit. Okay, so like I said, if you need to take a moment, okay. So we're gonna start going through this. Like I said, I was skimming through it and I really only got to like page 156. Um, okay, that's the introduction. We're gonna go past that. So this may have to be a several, like, over 5 days of just reviewing this because this is deep. Okay, this is deep. He was talking about, he was defining terms. Okay. Selection and preparation of the V. Okay, so they have various ways that they select people for this, allegedly, based on genetics and dissociative abilities, availability, mental and physical features. Okay, what I found interesting was, to start it all out, one of the primary reasons that the flying insect um, mental domination program was named after the insect was because of the insect. The insect learns where it is born, its roots, and it passes this knowledge on via genetics to its offspring. Okay, from generation to generation. Now, if you understand science, is this not showing? Let me see. Am I sharing the right one? I don't think I'm sharing. Am I sharing the right one? Nope, I'm not sharing the right one. Okay. So if you understand science, so take, for example, like salmon, right? Salmon are born in one place and then they swim downstream, but when they get ready to have lay their eggs, they swim back upstream to where they come from. Now they ain't never been to this stream, but this is genetically programmed. Okay. This is why with some of us, it's just like our traits, our physical traits, different personality traits and other genetic things are passed down through the DNA. Okay. If you play video games, then you understand this because the video game Assassin's Creed took this notion and created a video game out of it. Okay. They were capturing people who were supposed to be descendants of ancient assassins to try and find these old ancient relics because the information lives in their DNA passed on to you in the present from your ancestors. Okay, so this is what this is saying. So the insect learned where it's born and it passes the information along through genetics. Okay, so this, and make no mistake about it, this was a program created by one of the three-letter agencies. Okay. One of three-letter agencies. I'll let you figure out which one. Okay. And it's based off of, according to this, the I people and the people from Germany, the people we were fighting in World War II, to create a master race through genetics. Okay. Because if knowledge can be passed genetically, then it's important that parents can be found that can pass the correct knowledge on to these people selected for this program. Okay. So this is them starting with their science into it. This is them starting with their science into this and how they're coming up with their basis from this. Okay, let me stop for a minute. Hey, big sis Loretta. Loretta has gifted out 20 memberships. And we appreciate you, Loretta. It's good to see you around. I didn't see you for a couple days in various chats, and I was hoping that you were okay. So I'm glad that you are okay, that you're doing well. And thank you so much for your generosity. And congratulations to everyone who received a membership. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, so this is how they are coming up with their um mhm. This is how they are coming up with their basis for this. So you got to pick the right people. You got to pick the right people. Okay? You got to pick the right people. Okay. The primary factor for this ability, for this program, is the ability to disassociate. It was discovered that this ability is passed genetically from generation to generation. Now they talk about who is able to disassociate: American Indian tribes, various ritual dances. Okay, people from India, the yogis from India, Tibetan Buddhists, children of Voodoo. Okay, so voodoo spiritual workers, right? Bizongo and other groups have the good ability to disassociate. So make no mistake about it, when people are out here learning, ATR, ATR magic, ATR traditional rituals and stuff like that. I'm not saying everybody has a nefarious purpose, but right here, they're talking about children of voodoo. Okay. Now, also, children of multi-generational abuse were good at it. Okay, so the I people sent families, the I people families, and the occultists of Europe went to India, Tibet, and all these different places to study occultism in various places from native peoples. Okay, the Europeans learned yoga, tantric yoga, meditations, trances, and other methods to disassociate. Okay, so these things are not native. They're not native to them. We know where a lot of these practices from around the world come from. Okay, and when white people, came upon it, it's not native to, like, yoga is not native to the British Isles, to Britannia, to Rome, right? Everyone has their own types of practices, but these people sent their people around the world to learn various practices for these reasons. Okay. Now it says a test run is when the children are about 18 months old to determine if they can dissociate enough to be selected for programming or not. Imagine someone trying to test your child at 18 months old, and all you want your baby to do is drink from the sippy cup without throwing it on the floor. Okay. The ones who are chosen, they become slaves. They are, ones who will become slaves. Okay, these children often receive lavish experiences as well as talks to convince them that they are part of the elite. Okay, the I people have also programmed individuals who are simply expendable. These are intimacy slaves who are used up and deleted very early in life. One time use saboteurs, breeders, soldiers, pharmaceutical couriers, and so forth. The bodies of these people, according to this document, will show scars. The expendable are the children of parents who were blackmailed into turning their children over to this alphabet agency right here. According to this document, this is all hidden by this act right here. Okay. These are children who have been sold by the creepy pedos or corn, CORN parents. Okay, y'all know what I'm saying. Okay. The programmer's masters program them with the expectation that they will be thrown from the freedom train when they get to age 30. To be thrown from the freedom train means to be deleted. Okay, so when we're talking about, and the reason I'm presenting this because when we're talking about quote unquote the alleged celebrities doing things, um, all these children who go missing, children being sold into whatever, stuff that Bella Sloan Bella was talking about. Lord, let me not butcher her name. This is getting deep into it. This is getting deep into it. Okay. This is getting deep into it. So let's continue on. Um, okay. Now, um, this is interesting right here. The P people and deleters who abuse their children are warned that they will go to prison for long lengths of time if they do not cooperate by selling their children into this form of slavery. In return for the parents' cooperation, they provide rich financial rewards. Okay. So again, talking about, everything, all of the alleged with Diddy, all of the alleged with Epstein, like all of this stuff here, all these hidden cameras and stuff here, this ties into that. Okay. Ministers are often set up with betas who then blackmail them. Ministers do not want to lose their status and profession via scandals, so they agree to turn their children over when young to the alphabet people. Okay. The I people like to blackmail these ministers when they are finished with their seminary schooling and have committed to the ministry at about 33 years of age. The idea of having nothing to fall back on after they have committed their entire life to one profession is too much for these weak willed men. Okay. Weak punk bitches. Right. And they buckle under the threats. Okay. Okay. If a father will abuse his own little baby girl, then the programmers know that that man has no conscience. Okay. Amen. Um, the father's involvement in criminal activity and thereby his vulnerability can be continually increased. They want men who they believe will not develop any qualms later on in life about what they have done. A man who waits until his daughter is a teenager to M-word her is usually esteemed to have too much conscience for the programmers. A big distinction must be made between hierarchy slaves and non-hierarchy slaves. Okay, because they are not programmed the same way. So just kind of getting into things. Um, kind of get into things. Yeah, we need to jump around a little bit because again, yeah. Um, Now this person is also saying that, and I have to be careful with how I word this. Okay, we're talking about World War II and the places in World War II that need to be liberated, right? The places in World War II that needed to be liberated, right? Where people were not being fed, they weren't being closed, they were being experimented on. This document is saying that those places from World War II were testing grounds for mind control operations. Okay. Now, if you know this name, Joseph Mengele, okay, what is according to this document was the head programmer. According to this document, he had already achieved high status within the eyes. Okay. Okay. According to this document, he was skilled in music, um, fetus deletus, and torture, and the programming of children. Okay. Per this document, many of the people from these places in World War II that this man programmed still love him to this day. Okay. So, like I said, just moving along. Just moving along. Okay. And just right here, the reason that Mengele was excited about those terrible places from World War II was that he was choosing inmates for his numerous experiments. And he was really excited when he got identical twins because his genetic research related to mental domination needed persons of identical genetic makeup. Okay? So we're getting deep. We're getting deep. We're getting deep. Be safe getting home. Sunray. We're getting deep. That's why I said, clutch your pearls if you have to. Clutch your pearls because this is deep. This is deep. Okay? Um so let me try and scroll down because like I said, we're on page 20. Um okay. Let me try and scroll a little bit. So, let me try and scroll a little bit more. Um, Scroll a little bit more because, like I said, yeah. Um, okay, he's talking about codes there. I really didn't understand it. We're gonna scroll past that. But yeah, so you can see this alleged document. Okay. Now I found this was too interest. This was interesting. Alleged organizations practicing okay harm based mental domination. According to this document, these groups form what's called the network. They are the backbone of this right here. Okay. So I'm gonna scroll a little bit and then you can, give you all a chance to read some of this stuff. Okay, it starts in A. Okay, starts with A. So you can, I'm not gonna read off everybody, but Air Force intelligence, Army intelligence, okay, Atomic Energy Commission, Boeing. All this is alleged. Bureau of Prisons, Catholic Church, the Alphabet People, okay, Church of Scientology, okay, that we're getting in the C's. Okay, let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, country music industry, DIA, Department of Justice, other three-letter agencies, Freemasonry, okay, GHG, Hollywood, the House of alleged these people, okay, in the Middle East, okay, the I people, the KKK, Mafia, Masons, um, these are the people of the I country in the Middle East, okay, those people. Okay, the Mormon Church, NASA, NASA, National Science Foundation, Naval Intelligence, Office of ONI. Okay, and if you know anything about some of the recent, over the past couple years, the quote unquote UFO stuff, um, you'll see the ONI is allegedly part of that. Um, OTO, Paulo Mayombe, professional baseball, such as the LA Dodgers. Remember, those of you who are channel members, I was saying how I am convinced that California is a state. It's a hotbed, hotspot of occult activity. And once I finish my research and present it to you all, I'm going to show you why. But remember, I was talking about California, LA Dodgers. Okay, LA Dodgers. Okay, we got Russian people. Okay, Temple of Power, US Army, especially, the Delta Forces, USAF, Veterans Administration, some witchcraft groups. Okay, so it's just per this is a list of all these various groups. There's probably more alleged that, partake or send people to this. Okay, okay. This is where it kind of gets a little clutch your pearls. If the I's preferred plan is followed, okay, it has 4 beginning foundational stages to prepare the abused for programming. Let's list these and then afterwards explain. Okay, here's where it starts getting real sketch. But the in utero preparations and preliminary ceremonies actually form an initial first stage. The first stage is the initial ceremonies and the in utero traumatization. The second stage is to have a premature birth. The third stage is to provide intense love for the child for the first 18 months by 2 to 3 selected caregivers. And the fourth stage is to pull that love away and split the mind of the child permanently. Not every child is born premature, but many are, because that is the preferred method to be able to program. Okay. So let me take a moment and clutch my pearls because this is yeah. 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 Hey Coruscant, this is about ooh, the famed conspiracy theory about mind control. This is an alleged document that shows how mind control is allegedly done. Okay? Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. Okay, we see foundational step 1 right here in bold. Preparation of the children by spiritual preparations and in utero abuse. These are called quote unquote moon children. Okay. Now it says that these are generational um I don't even want to say it. Can you all read that? Yeah, you can read that. Y'all see what's highlighted. You can read that for yourself. These generational families, okay, sold out, and their children belong to this being in a way that non-generational children do not. Okay, like I said, I told y'all I had a headache yesterday. This shit is sick. Um, because of the generational curses, because of the genetic bent towards the occult, because of the generational demonic forces, the children are very good candidates for the programming. Okay, so part of the programming is talking about rituals. Okay. An in depth review about this important but controversial subject is in chapter 10. The Moonchild rituals are the rituals to quote, demonize a fetus. Per this document, the ones that are invoked are not the small ones, but very powerful ones, and are working with victims of this programming. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Blood sacrifices and human sacrifices are always required for this level of magic. Okay. Aleister Crowley, who was a Satanist per this document and a 33-degree Scottish Rite Freemason. He was also a leader in okay. Um, he wrote, per this document, he wrote Moonchild, which was first published in 1917. The idea of a moonchild is that via black magic, a perfect soul can be captured. The belief in reincarnation, which is prevalent among the I's and the S's. Okay, so okay, so let's continue because that yeah, um, and talking about the Hittites. I ain't even getting back into that, but yeah, it's talking about the Hittites. Um, yeah. This is the ritual. This is the ritual. He's going over the ritual. Um, for this. I'm not reading that. Um, okay. Okay. Per this document, the formal flying insect mental domination project was developed from observation from these alleged families. Okay. Now, remember, I don't know if you all remember in the members only stream that I did, it was either yesterday or the other day, talking about just looking into things to when I was kind of talking about like Rome and stuff like that. Here it's talking about Italian practices. Okay. And when I was looking into Rome and looking through quote unquote these 13 families and stuff like that, from what I saw, a lot of it was coming out of Rome. A lot of it coming out of Rome. So when we're talking about like the Catholic Church and all this stuff like that, if you look at like the formation of Italy and all these different families and stuff like that, this is tying into that. Okay. Alleged. Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. So families who wanted disassociative children learned that disassociative babies could be born if the child in the womb is tortured. Okay. Mothers who are, in clutch of pearls, pregnant with children to be programmed are also severely traumatized during their pregnancy with a whole assortment of traumas, which simultaneously traumatizes the babies that they carry. For instance, the father may purposely abandon the pregnant mother in the middle of a forest or blast the mother with loud, frightening music and then follow up with love. So I want you all to think about like these kinds of behaviors and think about certain behaviors, think about abandonment of children. Just even here in general present day, think about what trauma does. Think about what having to be in survival mode does. Think about what being abandoned does. Think about all those different things. Take this right here and think about it in terms of children being abandoned, children being like in the present day. Think about that and what it does to people. Okay. Um, I believe it. Yeah, this is wild. This is wild. This is wild, right? So yeah, so I want you all to, like I said, think about that. Okay, so they're talking about the trauma of a premature birth. Okay, because a premature birth, can the baby survive? I'm trying to think, it's at least one of the Asian cultures, babies don't get a name until they're like 1 year old or something like that because it's either a current practice or it's an old practice because a lot of times babies didn't survive, right? So imagine a premature baby being born before its time, right? Will the baby survive or not? If the baby, per this document, if the baby survives, then it's a perfect candidate. Okay. But here they are inducing premature labor because that's not natural. But the traumas that occur to the preemie are. Okay. Okay, because the baby can't do what the baby got to do, right? Natural birth is always best because nature is doing what it's supposed to do. But all this premature stuff, the C-sections, and listen, part of this is translated over allegedly into the medical field. I'm just gonna say allegedly. I'm not a doctor. I'm not but a lot of women being pushed into having C-sections, like you ain't even try. You didn't even try for a natural vaginal birth. It's not just it has its reasons, it has its functions for the child, for like it has its functions, right? Being cut open and all the different stuff like that, it's yeah. So I want you all to understand how some of this translates over into quote unquote the medical field. Okay. So a premature baby, you know, but they're saying, like if a baby is premature and it survives, they said it's perfect. They said it's perfect. Okay. Um, okay, so all of this, uh, some of this in the document was saying about, like not letting mothers bond with their babies after the baby's being born. Why? Because when you have a bond, you're attached to your child. So it had me thinking about like how sometimes in hospitals, and those of you who have had children, you let me know, that as soon as the baby is born, they whisk the baby away to do whatever to the baby or clean the baby or whatever instead of giving the baby to the mother so you can hold your child right after it's born. Um yeah, this is deep. This is deep. Okay, so talking about Korean culture. Yeah, I couldn't remember who it was. So CC sections are, not natural. I mean, when you just aren't gonna again, I don't have children, but we have the women have been given birth for how long? Okay. Now, if you just not gonna like dilate, that's one thing. But I see a lot of people now, like doctors are like scheduling like C sections. Okay, but just let her go into labor or like, oh, the baby is 2 weeks past due. The baby is fine. The baby gonna come when it's time for the baby to come, but they want to induce your labor and all this different stuff that they're flooding into you. So I just want you all to think about that. Okay, because when you have a vaginal birth, squeezing the baby out um through your, that's what it's for, through your birth canal, it's for the baby. Okay, it's for the baby. It helps the baby. Okay, it's for the baby. So I just want you all to, ladies, yeah, right. Yep, took both of your daughters to the nursery before you go home. Yeah, this is what this is talking about. Imagine you just gave birth to this baby. You can't even hold your baby right after the baby born. It's sick. That bonding time, that skin to skin bonding time, right? Skin to skin bonding time. Like all the things that we do as humans, when it's skin to skin contact, it's intimacy and it's for a reason. It bonds us together, right? Touching, kissing, even when are having relations, right? The intimacy of skin to skin contact is what helps bond you together, right? But yeah, this is cruel. I'm glad. That's wild. That's wild. But yeah, I want you all to think about that in the context of this. Okay. Okay. So okay, going here. Studies have learned that most mammals lick their newborn, which has been observed to be critical for the healthy development of the baby. The eyes want the same development for their offspring. Research shows. Okay, so the things that we do as parents, especially mothers, when you're having your children, the first bonding, the first touching, the rocking and swaying. These are all things that are teaching. Babies are learning even in the womb, right? They know their parents' voices, that things they like, things they don't like in the womb. Okay, it's stimulus, right? Okay, so they say that they're doing this with preemies because the child can be touched and it will crave that touching even if it hurts. Already, the mixing of love and pain is beginning. Their skin will be thin and sensitive to touch. It will hurt to be touched, and preemies can even have their skin bruised by a sheet. Okay, a premature birth will create a fighter spirit within the child. If the child does not have a strong instinct for survival and does not fight to survive the premature birth, then it will not fight to survive during the tortures of the programming. By having a premature birth, the selection process has already started. Which child will be a fighter? The preemie will be emotionally deprived of getting to suck on a real mother's breast, but will be fed with an eyedropper or bottle. Okay. So I understand if the baby will not latch to its mother's breast, but all of these things are for a reason. For a reason. Breastfeeding is natural. Okay, all this just jump to bottle, just jump to bottle, just jump to formula. Okay. All of the alphabet insignia. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The alphabet insignia, okay? That talks about women's body parts and stuff like that. Those people, you know what I'm talking about. Talking about you don't need such and such to do all that. Baby, yes you do. Yes you do. Okay. So I need to just move on through this, but cuz yeah, a lot of it's really sick. Talking about every part of this baby's body will be violated. It's sick. I'm not going into that cuz this is some sick ass shit. Um it's sick. Okay? It's talking about these people stretch the mind of a child as soon as it's born, teaching it with hypnotic voices as soon as it's born, subliminal tapes used to teach the baby immediately. Okay. It likes people who are smart. Um, Notice that, and I want you all to understand this as it pertains to the occult, as it pertains to esoterics, as it pertains to stuff that people see on TV. Children can be hypnotized easier than adults. Okay. Whatever these babies are out here consuming, give them an iPad to just play with the iPad, some of this subliminal messaging and stuff. Children's minds are open. Okay. They are innocent. Okay. They are innocent. And per this, they can be hypnotized easier. We all know this. We all know this. Okay. Um, who child? Let me okay, they say that they like to love bomb the baby until 18 months. Okay, third stage, smothering the child in love. Love is given so that it can be taken away in the fourth stage. Okay. The I children are never spanked in their first year and a half. They are very lovingly controlled. This is called love bombing in preparation for removing that love and acceptance to get obedience. I want you all to think about women or people in partnerships who are love bombed, right? And then when the love bombing ends, and then here comes the trauma, right? The trauma that it induces. How many people are messed up from relationships with people who do this? Okay. So I want you to think about this in terms of like these relationships and people saying this and how people want dysfunctional relationships and stuff like that. This stuff is trickling down from somewhere. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I want you all to understand. Hey, Fifi, I want you all to understand. Um, A lot of stuff I was seeing in this document, you can see it in the real world now. And my question to myself is rhetorically, it's just like, how much of quote unquote um the powers that be, elites and stuff, filtered this stuff down into everyday society. But we saw the alleged organizations, right? Including the military, including, such and such, such and such. We saw that. We saw that. And again, these young people in these relationships, you know, these narcs and stuff, all of that stuff. uh, this right here, it's wow. It's wow. So I want you all to think about this. We see these women who, and men too, who, love bomb, love bomb, love bomb. Okay. The love is given so that it can be taken away in the fourth stage. Unless the love is given so that it can be taken away, there is no trauma. So again, think about this as it pertains to romantic relationships or, mating, dating, things like that. Lovingly controlled. Okay. Okay. And then here, step number 4, fracturing the mind. Okay. Often in the fourth step, the young person's mind will fracture along the same fracture lines the trauma of the premature birth created. If the child is not premature, it would need some additional help and want to disassociate. Everything imaginable can be used to overwhelm the child. Okay, this is kind of sick. This is sick. And this is talking about torturing children, children in cages, like banging noises. Yeah, I'm not reading that. It's pretty disgusting. It's pretty disgusting. Okay, and the fourth step, alleged, children are starved, cold, and yeah, I'm not reading it. Um, and then what it was saying was like, after, it's, yeah. Um, and why were they doing it to children? Because children are innocent. They don't have jobs to go flee and run away. So this is why they say they were doing it to children, because children, they can't flee, they can't get up and leave, they can't run away. So they're stuck having to deal with a person who both loves them and tortures them. Okay? So, mm, yeah, like I said, I wouldn't. I'm not reading it out loud. Um, they're talking about doing some of this in the womb. Just some sick ass shit. Just some sick ass shit. So remember when there's people out here talking about, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, the harming of the children ain't that bad. Oh, it's fine. She was 16. Oh, even with the whole quiet on set, I was watching that last night and I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, this is why everybody needs to fade. Everybody needs to fade. Okay? Everyone needs to fade. Everyone needs to fade. Okay, so the eye people have a preference of blue-eyed, blonde, Caucasians. Okay, no physical defects or visible scars. Okay. Okay, they talking about programming at um age 6. Okay, now this was interesting. Woo! Okay, some of these people end up in various intelligence agencies where they are trapped for their entire lifetime. Some of the victims of the programming are war vets, Americans who were prisoners of war, people in mental hospitals, people who happen to work for the eye companies, and people going into acting. People going into acting, the entertainment industry. Oh, yes, the entertainment industry. Yeah, they are creating people with broken minds to be able to use them for whatever their nefarious reasons are. And they said, per this document, that they start a lot of breaking down the mind when babies are in their mother's wombs because there's no time like the present. Yeah, it's disgusting. Hmm. This is connecting some dots. Uh-huh. This is why I'm saying, like, we going deep over here. We're going deep. If you have not, please like the video. Please like the video because I'm getting not re-traumatized, but I'm definitely gonna have to take a time out after this tonight and regather myself because this is deep. But when we're talking about, like I said, again, the whole this is deep and this is serious because when we're talking about the whole, things that are potentially happening in the industry, people who are alleged Satanists, people who are alleged occultists who doing stuff like this, the alleged stuff, Diddy's alleged crimes, the alleged such and such, all this alleged stuff. And then we see these people out here acting cray cray. Okay. Sloan Bella was just talking about some of this. Okay. This is basis foundation for that. This is foundation of that. Per this document, all alleged. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So let's continue. So especially going into acting. Okay. The intelligence agencies often begin the domination on adults and individuals when an individual joins their organization. If an intelligence or military group can exercise a high level of external control over an individual, they may not need the level of programming that some of the occult cults and Illuminati need. The eyes place their membership among the world at large, and with the requirement that centuries of secrecy be maintained. So yeah, a high level. So pretty much if you are obedient, this is good. This is good. Okay. Okay. Not everyone is a good candidate. Okay. But you got to be tested as an adult. Okay. So this is chapter 2, and I want you all to thank you so much, Sunray, for the Cash App. Yes, for the flying insect doc. Yeah, thank you so much, Sunray. I appreciate you, girl. Yeah, we're going deep over here. And this is not a fun, this is not a kiki, but we're going deep over here. Now, I want you all, remember I was just saying about, and I don't want to give it away. I don't want to give it away. Remember I was talking about how I think, California is just for some reason is this hotbed of occult activity, all these landmarks, all these different places and stuff like that. What you're looking at right here, and I don't want to give it away because I'm going to cover it when I pretty much do my research and presentation on the state of California, right? But this right here says cremation of care. Okay. It says this is the cover of the program ritual at, and you can see the B and the G, those two words together right there. The BG place, okay, where there's the alleged statue of the owl and the elites go there and stuff like that. The BG is in California. I did not know that until yesterday. Okay. I did not know that until yesterday. Girl, you talking about your nerves, girl, my nerves. I'm starting to get a headache. Okay. So, as we can see here, okay, this chapter 2. Mhm. Yeah, if you can read that right up under there, if you can read that, let me try to make it a little bit bigger so you can read. So everyone can read. Okay, everybody can see that. Mhm. Mhm. Cover of the program at the BG Place. The BG Place is in California. Okay, so okay, the basis for success of the flying insect mental domination program is that different personalities or personality parts called alters. Okay, so your other personality, multiple personality disorder, can be created who do not know each other but who can take the body at different times. Multiple personality disorder. The amnesia walls are built by traumas, form a protective shield of secrecy that protects the abusers from being found out and prevents the front personalities who hold the body much of the time to know how their secret system is being used. Okay, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde effect. So it's kind of interesting. You know, we talk about Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I know there was a movie back in the day called The Faces of Eve about multiple personality disorder. Okay, Faces of Eve. Okay, you know, it's an old movie, it's an old school movie. I'm trying to remember if it's in color or if it's black and white. Faces of Eve, I saw that many, many years ago. It kind of had me fucked up a little bit, I ain't gonna lie. Um, yeah, here we go right here. The shield of secrecy allows these people to live and work around other people and remain totally undetected. The front altars can be wonderful Christians, and the deeper altars can be the worst type of satanic monster imaginable. A Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde effect. Yeah, they really do prey on children. Mhm. Mhm. That's why I said clutch your pearls. If you need a cigarette, go get your cigarette. If you need a shot, go get your shot. If you need to take a walk outside, I get it because this is deep. Mhm. Yep. Mhm. Mhm. Yep. And this remember they always say like California, like New York are like the testing grounds for things? Uh-huh. Mhm. Yeah, what was it? Yeah, the 3 Faces of Eve. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You got wine in the pen, baby? Mhm. I need to talk about listen. Yeah. Yeah, but this is wild. Mhm. Mhm. Yep. Mhm. So remember that movie, The Manchurian Candidate, right? You have one and then you call another one up. Even in what movie was that? It was a movie not too long ago. Um, you kind of saw it in you saw a little bit of it in Black Widow, the Marvel movie. Them girls that couldn't you know, it was all type of effed up research done, you know, what they call it the red room. If you saw Black Widow, it's on Disney Plus. Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, you saw the mind control. They just did it a different way. But what were all of those girls? Those girls in that mind control program from Black Widow? What were they? Were runaways, they were throwaways, they were abandoned, some of them were raped as kids. It's trauma. It's trauma. Okay. So some of this we see out in our faces and not really knowing what you're looking at. Okay. Black now that you've heard some of this, you go to Black Widow, watch Black Widow on Disney Plus if you have Disney Plus, you will see that touches on that. The movie Black Swan, yep, with Natalie Portman. She was, you know, she had her split. She had her split. Okay, so a lot of it's in your face. You just don't know sometimes, you know, what you're looking at. But like I say, we going deep together. We going deep together. Okay. Once again, talking about Something is going on with California. Okay. The alleged initial splits and initial programming done at China Lake in California. California, 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 California. Western US. Okay. Watch Moon Knight. It's on Disney Plus. Okay. Yeah. But do y'all see what I'm talking about? This is what I'm talking about here. Like listen, listen. All types of stuff happening out here in California. This is not Oklahoma. It's not Florida. It's it's California. Okay. Okay. Evidently, the Navy, allegedly per this document, decided that mind control people were an important weapon to test. Most of the quote new weapons created at China Lake were, for the most part, alleged human robots turned out in large numbers. The flying insect mental domination program was carried out in large airplane hangars on the base, able to house thousands of tiny cages just large enough for human babies. Lots of 1,000 babies was a small batch. Okay. I'm not getting into that talking about child rape. I'm not getting into that. I'm not even reading that. But yeah. So California, alleged China Lake facility in California near Death Valley. Children were brought there by trains, planes, and cars. Okay. And if you've ever driven out in California, I have driven, okay. I live out here now in California. I've driven most of the state, not all of it. So I've been to San Francisco, um, Bakersfield. I've been down to LA, Orange County, San Diego. That's a lot of the state, right? Even when we drove from Silicon Valley to LA and then LA to Vegas, you going out there, you on 15. When you're driving on 15, right? Before you get to Vegas, before you get to Nevada, it ain't nothing but land out there. Okay, we drove past Edwards Air Force Base. Edwards Air Force Base is massive. Edwards Air Force Base. So when you're looking at all these places, and, it's a military base, and you can't really see anything from the road. I always find it very interesting, right? You can't tell me that there aren't any type of bunkers doing some type of such and such, out here, Um, I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. It's a bunch of alleged. It is of my opinion that there are a bunch of testing grounds and underground, um, deep underground bases, and a lot of stuff is out here. California is a very large state. Okay. But he's saying, this is China Lake. Okay, out here in California. Okay. So, okay, according to this, the Union train station in Portland, Oregon has underground tunnels where allegedly children were allegedly warehoused in cages before continuing on their journey. Okay, per this document, allegedly the Jesuits were active in this. Per this document, allegedly Catholic adoption agencies, which are many, nuns who got pregnant, third world parents, and parents who will sell their children are all sources of children for programming, allegedly. When one thinks about how many corrupt people there are and how many towns and cities there are on the West Coast and how many children are produced by these breeders, okay, they're talking about illegal aliens, migrants, and other parents who'd rather have money than children. You begin to realize how procuring the batches of 1,000 or 2,000 children was no problem for these people. Okay. This is an old document, but it's kind of touching in on the alleged, things happening with quote unquote people coming across the border. We heard about the children in cages. Okay, the children are missing. These people are, we hear about this, right? We hear about these things. Okay. Mhm. 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 So, we just thinking about things. We just thinking about things. Okay. It says some of the children are needed for programming are used to be sacrifices to traumatize the children who are being programmed. Okay. Now here we go again. All this is alleged. We just reviewing this document that came from Penn State University. This is all alleged. Y'all can read this for yourself. The secret airstrip, allegedly, at Santa Rosa has planes landing and leaving all night. Some of these flights go east and then land at the 1,800 square mile China Lake Naval Research Base and are believed to carry children for programming. Allege. The man said he tried to get the information and they played in his face like it didn't exist. Here we go again. California. I see why people are leaving California. Near Santa Rosa is BG. BG. Y'all know this name of this place right here. Uh-huh. Mhm. Okay, let's continue. Mhm. Okay. Um. Mhm. The airport used for the BG visitors is north of Santa Rosa on Highway 101. I'm in Silicon Valley, so I know Highway 101. You can take Highway 101. You can take 101. Um, you can take 101 all the way down. 101 runs a long way. 101 you can take from San Francisco, north of San Francisco, from San Francisco. 101 goes into San Jose, Silicon Valley. The 101, you can take the 101, you can stay on that same 101 and take it all the way down to LA. Okay, even going to like Orange County. Okay, 101 is very long. I've driven on 101. Okay. United Express and American Eagle, which flies to and from San Jose, okay, Silicon Valley, fly into this airport. Okay. So, like I said, now it said the E's from around the world fly here to go to BG, which is in the Monte Rio area. Okay, California. Okay, California. Okay, they talking about some disgusting shit here. This N word right here. Okay, yeah, I'm not reading it. That's um the slaves. Many of them children themselves are used in this system. Children are also used to entice and kidnap other children allegedly. Okay. Now we've seen and heard, right, where women or young girls, right, are used to say, hey, girl, come with me. And then they're kidnapped. It be your own people, right? We have seen and heard those stories of, because, they know not to send quote unquote adult men, right? But a teenage girl bringing another teenage girl in or something like that. We saw it in the movie. What was it? The not Rocky movie. Rambo. Rambo, what was it? Last Blood or whatever? When the little girl, she went to Mexico to try and find her father, and her alleged friend sold her out to the prostitution ring. Okay? Her own friend sold her out to the prostitution ring. This is what this is talking about. Okay? So we see this. A lot of times it's not men. A lot of times it's women or young girls, bring these people in. Mhm. And that's one of my favorite movies right there because everybody had to get the fade. So that's one of my favorite movies. I mean, she should have listened, she should have stayed, but that shouldn't have happened to her either. But yeah, he made sure everybody got the fade. And another reason that I love that movie is because the auntie or the grandmother, whoever she was, called upon Santa Muerte to help fade everybody. Okay. One of my favorite movies. But yeah, everybody get the fade. When it's stuff like this happening, everybody need the fade. They all need to be wiped off the planet of Earth. Okay. But that's just my take on it. Um, here is something else. Here is something else I want you all to think about. The triangular shaped airfield. Okay. Airfield connects to the main base. Children land there allegedly. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Per this document, Charles Manson was a programmed slave who received his programming at China Lake. Lived with his cult only what? 45 miles northwest. Okay, so Charles Manson, the Manson, crazy Manson people. Okay. Scotty's Castle in Death Valley, Bakersfield, Edwards Air Force Base. Again, I drove past Edwards Air Force Base because we were not going down to LA to drive back up to Silicon Valley. From LA, we kind of cut through on this like small 2-lane highway up through Bakersfield until we were able to connect back to the 5 to go back to Silicon Valley. Okay, I drove past there, Edwards Air Force Base. I'm trying to think, do I have pictures? I'm not sure. Oh, Route 66. Okay, Route 66 from like California to like the Midwest. Okay. Only people who knew how to get in would just get in. Okay. Okay. So let me see. Where am I at on this? Yeah, this is wild. You in the clouds working? Yeah. Thanos style. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So let me try and keep moving on. Okay. This right here. And we kind of see this, right? What does the trauma do? In recent times, the military and the science of psychology is paying attention to what they call PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. So we've all heard before how people in the military are given experimental, take this, take this, take that. It's mandated through, your service. You can't like not take the stuff. You get sent to these places, you see these things, you get post traumatic stress disorder. PTSD are the psychopathic debilitating effects of trauma and chronic nature of reactions to trauma. Okay, PTSD is no joke. Intrusive flashbacks of the trauma will occur if the mind doesn't protect itself from reminders of the trauma. Okay, so this is why there's the saying you cannot heal in the same environment that caused you the trauma. You cannot heal in the same place where the danger took place. This is exactly what this is saying. This is exactly what this is saying. The mind creates avoidance patterns to protect itself from thinking about the trauma. Panic symptoms occur when the person undergoes physiological arousal to traumatic cues. A trauma will create a certain shatteredness within the victim. The victim will develop life assumptions about being vulnerable, about having little personal worth, and that life is not fair. They may develop phobias to constantly check their environment for safety and constantly monitor others to make sure they are not mistreated. For centuries, warfare has taken place and military men have experienced PTSD. However, a full description and investigation into the disorder has been done only in recent history. The US military has prevented any serious counseling for their troops suffering from this. Peer counselors and rap groups were allowed and misled by the army to believe that they will be adequate. PTSD will often lead to outbursts of rage, chronic depression, or borderline dysfunctions. The PTSD in flying insect victims is masked by the programming. Then, in turn, the programming masks it. When the programming is complete, front alters have been created which can function with smiles and cheerful attitudes, while underneath the mind is being shattered. The mind is full of shattered, hurting alters who the slave is unaware of. Okay, so PTSD bad. PTSD bad. And the military, per this document, the military really don't treat the veterans of it. It's like an experiment, allegedly. Um, Certain alters, multiple personality disorder, end up holding the anger, the fear, and social withdrawal, the guilt, and the desire for self-punishment. These are held in check by the programming and take the body when the slave steps outside of the program path. So, we have these veterans out here, they just can't get right. They have these mental problems. You're trying to get them counseling, you're trying to get them into the VA, you're trying to get them the help that they need, and they're doing good, and then they have flashbacks, and they're these mental problems. This is what this is talking about. This is what this is talking about. This is what this is talking about. I'm not laughing at you. My husband texted me. This is what this is talking about. Oh yeah, this deep. We're deep. Sunray Physique says Army vets definitely have an eerie program vibe if you play cool. Yeah, PTSD. Mhm. Lovejoy, thank you so much for the super chat. Lovejoy says, I know this is a lot. Thank you, Q. I'm learning so much about things I was always curious about. You are welcome. Yeah, everybody take a spiritual cleansing bath or spray yourself with Florida water or Palo Santo or sage or whatever it is you got to do after this, because this is deep. This is deep. So thank you so much for that. You have PTSD from Iraq and Afghanistan. I understand. I understand, boo. My husband used to work for the Department of Defense. Okay. My husband was in Afghanistan. Okay. My husband was at some of those bases when those bases were being bombed. Okay. So I'm glad he made it out. Okay. My husband was over there when the whole zero dark 30 thing was going on. He was there. Okay. So he doesn't have PTSD, but there are definitely some things that he won't talk about from over there. Right. Um, and I get it. But yeah, I'm sorry that yeah, especially like Vietnam and stuff like that. Like, listen, that I can't imagine. I can't imagine. Was an army wife? You seen it all? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. The VA is a joke, yeah. Because yeah. Mm-hmm. You had to take some aspirin. I told y'all I had a headache yesterday reading some of this. We on page 54. What's that? Okay. So PTSD. So um, a lot of this, so when we're talking about like the military and all like that, yeah. Now it says alters. Okay, so multiple personality disorder, alters programmed to commit self unaliving are also built into the system. Okay, we've seen that. We've seen that. So they're doing this to, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. A lot of this is done to purposely keep this person from not being whole so they can use them for mind control. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Okay. So let's move on. Okay, they talk about the types of trauma. I'm not reading this because this was disgusting. But one thing it was saying was that, remember I talked about like Assassin's Creed. The whole premise of Assassin's Creed is that you remember things, you know how to do things. It comes from your genetics, right? Some people have the same personality as family members they never met, family members who died before they were born. certain traits. You just know how to do things. You just have a natural affinity to do things. Just like the salmon who know to go back to the streams that they came from when they were born, how the butterflies know where to go, even though they've never been there. This is this genetic material, genetic transmission of information, right? So what they're saying right here is that one thing, that the research told them was that people are born with certain fears, right? Some people are afraid of I some people were afraid of cats, and dogs, remember, right? And I remember like seeing like years ago, like some of the hoteps were out there saying like, like a lot of black people have fears of dogs because of the trauma from quote unquote what being enslaved and the slave people, chasing you down and black people with not being able to swim. Why is there a fear of the water? This is what they're talking about. This is what they're talking about. So understanding that certain even things like fears can be passed along genetically from one generation to another. In searching for traumas to apply to little children, the programmers found out that these natural phobias, which occur most in people from birth, works wonderful to split the mind. Okay, so I'm not reading this because this right here was absolutely disgusting to read about the different traumas that they were doing to people, to children. I'm not reading that. It was disgusting. I was just like, what the like it was disgusting. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. Okay. Okay, this talks about how does the network get sadistic men to torture little children allegedly. They got their studies on that. It says that per this study, essentially all human males can be taught to engage in sadistic behavior. So, when we're talking about, having the conversations about who's born violent or naturally violent and things like that, we got to start asking questions about it because this is kind of laying out that, it's some things that not necessarily taught, but like people are forced into some of this stuff. Okay. Um, yeah, some of the sadistic behaviors toward a goal. Okay, they said cutting a person's tongue and putting salt on it reinforces the no talk programming. Making someone throw up to cause eating disorder programming. So, yeah, this one right here is sick. I can't read that. That's sick. That's sick. I'm not talking about that. It's pretty disgusting. Um, they just I just saw right here. Pain is love. Pain is love. Okay, getting people to think that the pain of sadistic grape is a pleasure. Okay, what wasn't it a rapper out here with the name of an album or a song or something like that called "Pain Is Love" or some rap line or something like that? Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. Okay, I'm not going into that. They're talking about dehumanizing people. They're talking about, yeah, they're talking about. I'm not reading this because this is children stuff happening to children. Um, yeah, how they anchor the programming. Okay, how they traumatize the olfactory nerves. Okay, okay, so I can kind of read this. This isn't too sick. Um, yeah, yeah. So let me come back to the chat and see what's going on. Okay, yeah, like me per yeah, I agree with that. I was always interested in like the intelligence techniques, the physical techniques, things that you learn in the military. But baby, I can't take no orders like that. I can't take no orders like that. I have a mind, just some of the break. Yeah, I can't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So like a lot of this stuff, like dang, like they get to learn some of this stuff, like at their jobs, like a lot of stuff, like you can't just like learn, like you can't just take a class on, like some stuff is taught with the military, and I do hate hate that about things because I'm curious. I like to learn things. But yeah, going to the military and just taking orders and all, like, yeah, that was a no for me. That was a no for me. Working at Lockheed Martin, working at Lockheed Martin, I know somebody who used to work for Lockheed Martin, yeah. I'm sorry, baby. Just sending love to you all. Because, like I said, this is deep. That's why I told y'all to make sure you may clutch your pearls if you have to. Yeah, I wasn't reading that about the kids. I wasn't reading that. I've but being afraid of animals and you have no interaction with the animal to be afraid of it, right? Even me, I have an irrational fear of spiders. If it's a spider on the door and I need to go out, baby, I'm just canceling plans for the day. Mr. Hoodoo got to come kill it. Okay. Mr. Hoodoo has to come kill it because I'm not dealing with the spider. I see any bug. I can see a bug the size of a grain of rice on the wall, across the wall, like 20 feet across the room. The bug is the size of a grain of rice. I can see the bug on the wall. I know it's there. It must die. Okay. I'm just one of those people. But especially a spider, I almost crashed my car one time because a spider had came out of my vent. I was like, oh hell no. I didn't crash, thankfully, but I was on the expressway and I had to pull over. And yeah. So I don't this is why I don't be outside. I don't be outside in nature because like it's bugs and stuff. Like I don't do that. But yeah, so under like I don't know who in my ancestry was afraid of bugs like that, or maybe went through it, but baby, I ain't dealing with no bugs. Okay, y'all talking about Ja Rule? Yep, they turned that into being romantic. hmm Crippling fear of, yeah. Don't be laughing. Don't be laughing, L Boogie. I don't care what type of spider it is, he must die. He gotta die. He has to go to the underworld. Okay. So like I said, if it's one on the front door, like I remember one time where we used to live, going down the stairs outside. This was back way back in the day, like 2007. And it was a spider, this big black gold, huge spider. Um, when you were going down the stairs and you had to like walk underneath like the landing, every time I'm going down, here come the spider. I'm just like, well, I'm just not going outside today. It's just not, it just wasn't happening, right? So going to Australia, Jumanji, with them huge spiders and stuff like that, them camel spiders and all like that. I ain't going down, I ain't going to Jumanji. I am not going to Jumanji. You gotta find somebody else. You gotta find somebody people who got these huge pet spiders, living up in the corners in their houses, big as dogs and cats. I'm not doing that. You got to be crazy. You have to be out of your mind. So I ain't dealing with that. I have an irrational fear of spiders. I don't know where it comes from. It just is what it is. So I ain't dealing with that. Rats and beetles for me. But yeah, but this is what they're talking about. The fears that are passed down through generations. Is bees for me? Yeah. Yeah, you gotta decompress. I don't want to see that either. I don't. I don't care. No, they can't live. They can't live. They can't live. The people keep, but they're friendly. And see, I'm a person. I'm gonna go get a gecko. Okay, the little geckos that's like in Florida and stuff like that. The little green lizards. Let me go get a gecko because the gecko eat all the bugs. I like the gecko. The gecko. Every time I saw a gecko in my house in Georgia, you can stay because you probably in here eating a spider. But no, I don't play that. I don't deal with bugs, so I can't have not nan bug in the house because you have one bug in your house, then here come a spider. So they all got to die. They all got to die. Um, yeah, yeah. Don't come telling me that, girl. I ain't going over there with that. They everybody catch the fade. Yeah. Valerie says my brother and I were talking about this stuff the other day. They used to take young men that had no family to go looking for them. He met a man years ago that got away. Yeah, fish fly. But this is what they're talking about. That's what I say I can't do. I remember one time I was in the shower and a spider came from out of nowhere in the shower. I'm showering and here come this spider in the shower. Where the F did you come from? So I screamed. Mr. Hoodoo come running in. I'm like, baby, I jumped out the shower, soapy and all. You got to come kill this spider. Come kill this spider. But yeah. So yeah. So just understand, some of this is what they're talking about. But they're talking about how the olfactory nerves are traumatized. Okay, blood and perfume have been linked together in magic for thousands of years. The magical writings are full of different concoctions created for ritual smells. Okay, incenses. Some incenses were discovered cause people to go into trance or disassociate. Okay, remember he was talking about like the American Indians and stuff like that, the Native Americans. They have their sweat lodge rituals and they inhale and stuff, and the native practices from around the world, things that cause you to go into a trance to disassociate. It is reported that the stench of human flesh burning can cause disassociation. The power of sense was noted in ancient China. Okay. So yeah, this is and okay, they were talking about the ritual device, the torture device. We're not reviewing that. Yeah, just pretty disgusting. Um, and I don't even know if I'm gonna do like a multi-part going over this because this is too much. It just may be for tonight only. Okay. Chapter 3, the science of pharmaceuticals. The science of pharmaceuticals has given programmers a vast array of mind-altering and body-altering pharmaceuticals. Some of the some of them are not used to directly alter the mind, but to change the body or to do something to them to help achieve a nefarious goal. Okay. Okay. Now they're talking about Jonestown Guyana group control experiment, survivors of Jonestown. Okay. Okay. They're talking about pharmaceuticals for mind control. There are over 600 to 700 different ones at their disposal. The following is a partial list of pharmaceuticals available for mind control. They can make a person feel like he is in heaven or burning in hell, right? So when we're talking about also like torture techniques and stuff like that, that some of these alleged militaries around the world are using, this is what they're talking about. Okay. Okay. Hallucinogenics, it's a bunch of stuff in here. Acetylcholine, alcohol, Ambien, it's a lot of amphetamines, barbitals, um, just a bunch of stuff. Benzocaine, caffeine, sodium, just a bunch of them. They got weed on here, um, Demerol, a hypnotic. They got curare to paralyze the body, Dramamine, because sometimes they induce vomiting, and you got to stop the vomiting. Just it's a bunch of stuff on here. So also think about okay, they got insulin because insulin is shock for amnesia. Um, Lorazepam, MDMA, we know that one. Morphine, niacin is helpful to stop LSD trips. Novocaine. I mean, it's just, however they're using these different things. Um, they have good amnesia drugs, sodium penthol, just a bunch of different stuff. Um, then they got the herbs. Okay, when a victim's body is saturated with all the drugs they can assimilate, they will receive herbs, which often have a drug effect. Right? We all know that nature does things. Okay, herbs for medicinal purposes. Okay, ayahuasca. Right? We know that one. Bayberry for hemorrhaging. And I recognize a lot of these as spiritual herbs that I would use, like in like different money drawing powders and stuff like that. So I recognize a lot of these herbs: bayberry, calamus, cayenne. Okay, hemlock. We all know hemlock is a poison. lady slipper, mistletoe. We know what opium is, the poppy fields, rosemary, saffron, sage, um, sandalwood, and henbane. When burned together, the fumes cause convulsions and temporary insanity. Skull cap, sunflower seed, valerian root, which works just like valerian, but valerian stinks to high hell. I know I have some valerian over there in my herb box. Yerba mate. So and here they go. They talking about it right here. Talking about it right here. And we ain't gonna be on here too much longer. Religious groups, shamans, medicine men, witches, and cults have been using mind altering drugs throughout history. The medieval witches used potions of hemlock and aconite for their flying ointments, which means really to get you high. These are herbs, natural, which will create delirium. Okay. Covens use it. Okay, the voodoo cult in Haiti, per this document, is being used for trauma-based mind control. Okay, they manipulated allegedly by the eyes. Okay, zombie is when zombies are when the brain produces amnesia and pseudo death of the victim. The brain doesn't die, but the mind is shut off. So allegedly, the zombies come out of this experimentation. Okay, ceremonies that do it. Okay, they talk about Zulu witch doctors. Okay, so understanding that they've been studying what ancient native people and native practices have been using for a long time. They're using it too. Okay, applications for using it. They'll put you in a trance, they'll create illusions to create altars. So this is so again, when we're talking about um when we are talking about the different things that we see out here in the public, right? All these missing children, all of oh, the alleged elites are doing this with children. Oh, these children are missing. Oh, when you're talking about what was it? I forgot which country it was, like in Africa, like where have all the girls gone? Like all these girls being kidnapped, here in the United States, as black people, specifically girls who are going missing, all these children, they kidnapping babies and everything, children who are, kidnapped, trafficked, things like that. This is what this is talking about. This is what this is talking about. This is what this is talking about. I ain't touching no pet spider. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They had other barbitals on there. They did have a barbital on there. You read understanding from horticultural studies. Yeah, a lot of those herbs that was on that list, I literally have because I use them in my quote unquote spiritual potions, money drawn, and different types of one. But valerian stinks to high hell, but valerian is very potent. You can use valerian for cursing. I didn't tell you that, but yeah. So then they have their ways of hypnotizing. Okay, hypnotizing people to create, hypnotism for programming, how to program with hypnosis. Um, Cecil Rhodes Scholarship, hypnotism and warfare. Um, the only way to determine whether or not a mind control person was going to commit a deletion was to just try it and see. Um, you know, And I always told myself, like, I would see stuff like, you remember back in the day, like on Montel Williams and Oprah and stuff like that. Oh, they're hypnotizing people. And they would hypnotize the people and they had them out there looking crazy, dancing around and shit. And they hypnotizing these people. And then the hypnotist, puts them back normally. And they don't even remember that they were out here acting crazy on the stage because the hypnotist hypnotized them and had them doing all types of stuff. I told myself, no one is ever hypnotizing me. Ever hypnotizing me because your mind is open. You can be programmed to do stuff. We see that. Okay. We saw what hypnotizing people does. We saw it on like this, like I said, the old shows, Montel Williams and like Oprah and stuff like that. When they bring the hypnotist on, we would saw that, and I remember my dad would be like, "Look, look, look! Don't ever let nobody do that." Right? This is this hypnotizing. Imagine if those people who were getting hypnotized on like Montel Williams were told to go slap everybody in the audience with a red shirt on or something like that. And then they do it and then they come out of it, right? And they had no clue of what was happening and going on. This shit is dangerous. See, here's the conversation. When were you hypnotized last? Never was. Do you realize you were just in a trance 10 minutes ago? No, don't be silly. No one has ever hypnotized me and no one ever can. Do you mind if I try? Not at all if you want to waste your time, but it's all right with me. This person was hypnotized here. This is some of the same thing. Like I said, when you understand, like when you're looking at like these commercials and things like that, these advertisements, certain music and songs like that, it's hypnotizing you, it's training you, right? And you end up doing things that you probably wouldn't do. Okay. So understand where hypnotizing comes into play when it comes into the powers that be, esoteric stuff, etc., etc., etc. It is a thing. Okay, so you're hypnotizing people, you're breaking these people so you can create spies. You can create spies, have spies go out and do go do stuff. Um, they're taught um how to deceive, how to lie, and everything like that. Like it's wild. And I want you all to see this right here. The role of movies for hypnotizing small children. As mentioned before, the hypnotist will find children easier to hypnotize if they know how to do it with small children. Okay? It says this is why Disney movies and the other shows are so important to programmers. They are the perfect hypnotic tool to get the child's mind to disassociate in the right direction. Okay, spinning tops. Okay, dissociative states, right? We saw what was that? The movie Inception. So we going into Inception, the movie Inception. Okay, when the hypnotist uses this thing right here, we have the black and white. You know, it hurts my eyes to look at it because it does do something to your brain. So I'm not gonna keep this up here. But yeah, using that for hypnotizing. Uh-huh. Using your soft voice, your baby voice and stuff like that. Okay. Then they have codes, triggers, everything like that. Listen. I'm not gonna stay here all night going into all this. But and I mean, we're just on page 112. It's 558 pages of this. This is a 558 page document. We're on page 115. Okay. So, like I said, um, understanding things. Yeah, this is why. Yeah, I mean, it's out there, right? I've never tried hypnosis and I never will. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, using certain things. Talking about it's good to sleep for sleep. Listen, I'm taking some melatonin and I'm going to sleep. Go and get a real good workout in. Your ass gonna be sleep at the end of the night. Go on out there and hit them 4-5 miles. You gonna sleep good. Go walk around Six Flags, okay, in August in Florida, and you're gonna be tired as hell and you're gonna sleep good after that. Ask me how I know. Um, mm-hmm. Exactly. So ain't no telling what is being, told to people when they're under hypnosis. Ain't no telling. Okay, ain't no telling. So these are like different codes for different things. I ain't going into all them codes. They have different programming, Cinderella programming. They had like the Peter Pan programming. They had Melting Pot, The Wizard of Oz, Yellow Brick Road is the script for a script or program set of instructions one must follow. It serves as a runway for your multiple personalities to take off from their internal world and take over the body. Follow the yellow brick road. So understand, Wizard of Oz, 10-man programming, hmm yeah, carousels, castle system. Okay, going into zodiacs here, going into different. Yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot, and yeah, this is a lot. Um, this is a lot, but this document, like I said, we're on page 130 of 558. We ain't going through all of this, but I just wanted to show you all and kind of go a little bit deeper. So when we are kind of looking at things, so I want you all to kind of look at things and question things and be okay with asking questions about certain things. But yeah, according to this document, this is the manual. According to this document, this is the manual on how to break someone's mind, create multiple personalities, and create someone that you can mentally control um for whatever type of programming or whatever actions you need them to do. And all of the groups involved, allegedly, all of the ways they do it involve how they select children, how they select people. You know, this is wild. You see this here: Tinkerbell programming, Never Grow Up slash Alien, Ride the Light. Okay, cross program. Like this is um this is wild. They use music, Ring Around the Rosie, Mary Mary, Quite Contrary, um, Puss in Boots, Ring Around the Rosie, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Three Blind Mice. You know, Christmas carols. You know, a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff is wild. It's wild. And like I said, I came across this. I don't know how. I don't remember, but I came across this. You know, talking about talking about snuff films. This is wild. But if anyone ever wants to go through the entire 558 page document, you can. It's not hard to find. You can go through look through stuff yourself, but like I said, it was just at some time I'm just not going to go through all this forever, forever, forever. Um, yeah. L Boogie says it's the fact that they can sit down and assemble such diabolical agendas as opposed to just being decent human beings. I don't ever want my mind to become so warped and deviant. Right. I agree. I agree. But understand, when we're talking about quote unquote the alleged elites, the alleged powers that be, and just doing stuff to people, and people have been talking about programs and stuff for years, but oh, you just making it up and stuff like that. This document allegedly ties in so much. And we are on page 146 of a 558 page document. Okay. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going over all of this. I'm not even doing a part two. This was enough. I feel like this was enough of a review um for you all to kind of connect the dots and make connections to different things, especially as it pertains to society when we see certain things, right? I feel like this is enough. I feel like this is enough, and I'm going to let y'all go because this was enough. I need to drink my water and like I said, spray some Florida water. Um, some of y'all got y'all medicinals. Some of y'all got y'all tequila, your cigarette, your whatever. Because this was a lot. This was deep. Yeah, this is definitely something else. Like I said, I can't go through all of this. I think the furthest I got on my own was like page 165. I didn't go any further because I'm just like this is wild, and some of it I just couldn't read. Some of it I just couldn't read. So when people are out here saying things, like I said, I want you to remember all of this. as it pertains to and as it aligns with some of these things that we are seeing about children, about alleged trafficking, about alleged elites, about alleged celebrities doing stuff, all these different groups. We saw how the entertainment industry, the acting industry was part of it. Okay, music, all these alleged governmental groups allegedly part of this. And the rest of us who are sane and normal are out here just like, what the hell is going on? Why is no one doing anything about it? Baby, because the people who could do something about it allegedly are part of it. Allegedly are part of it. Okay? They be acting like ain't nothing going on. Be out here gaslighting like a motherfucker. Right? But this is a whole manual. This is a whole manual. It's a whole manual, right? So, like I said, I think this was enough. I think this was enough, but like I said, it just yeah, I think this was enough. And I want to thank you all, for those of you who stuck around here to the end because it was a lot. This was not a fun stream. This was heavy. This was heavy. But yeah, so I'm gonna let you good people go. I'll be back at some point tomorrow. Um, Thank you to everyone who gave out memberships, who donated, all that good stuff. Thank you, channel members. Thank you, Patreon patrons. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for being here. Yeah, like I said, y'all aren't crazy when you're asking questions, right? So again, like I said, do what you got to do. Like think about it as it pertains to everything, giving birth and all like that, infiltrating in various fields of study and stuff. Like think about all of it because this is connected to all of it. Okay, all of it. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna end the stream. I love you all. Go decompress. I will see you all at some point tomorrow. I'm not sure when, but I will see you all at some point tomorrow. So make sure that you have your notifications turned on. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but make sure that you have your notifications on. And again, thank you all for rocking with me this late into the evening, especially for East Coast people. And I'm gonna see y'all. And I'm gonna see y'all. Okay. We went deep tonight. We went deep. I'm gonna see y'all around. Bye.